Every tree has roots, every life has branches, and every adoption has a story. Some stories begin with questions, some begin with loss. All of them are rooted in love and the search for connection. This is Janet Monroe, and this is Roots and Branches Adoption Stories, a podcast where real stories take root and grow. Because the more we share, the more we understand, and understanding helps us grow. Now, here's Janet Monroe.
Hello, and welcome to Roots and Branches Adoption Stories. The roots represent the birth parents, the adoptee, and the adoptive parents, while the branches represent all those affected by adoption, the siblings, the relatives, and friends. I'm your host, I'm Janet Monroe, and welcome. Today's adoption journey begins inside the family itself. We're talking to a root. This time we're talking to both an adoptive mom and dad and get to hear from both sides. Daniel and his wife Tina moved to Colorado for a new beginning, but when COVID turned their world upside down, life had other plans. Amid business challenges and family crises, they suddenly found themselves caring for their 3-year-old niece, stepping into the unexpected role of kinship foster parents. This is a story about responsibility, resilience, and the love that grows when family steps up. So let's begin. I'll introduce you to both Dan and Tina. So before everything happened, let's start with the beginning, how you two met and how you ended up in Colorado.
I think you should start this.
We met at work, 11, 12 years ago at this point?
Yeah, a very long time ago, it feels like.
Yeah. We were friends first for quite a while, and then after quite a bit of time and lots of bad choices on both parts, we started dating. And then soon after we got engaged and got married. We came to Colorado mostly because I used to live out here. I'm a huge fan of Colorado. I really like it out here. So after kind of COVID ruined a lot of things and we had to get married in our backyard, we decided to take the hike and drive out here and start our adventure, which led to more craziness happening and putting us in a position now we were taking care of our niece, who's now our daughter.
Feels like a lot of things have happened in all that time.
Yeah, the last 5 years feels like 10.
It does.
So you said COVID changed your life drastically. What was life like before it came along?
Yeah, before little one came along.
Yeah, it was beforehand, yep.
Less communication with people in person. Just, so I started going on adventures with him with all the galleries and stuff that we were doing all these things in New York, and all of a sudden it just started getting real weird because of COVID, where we were just stuck with each other all the time and nobody wants to do anything in person anymore. So it's just been us the whole time. And I think we got a little too used to that because we're still just us all the time.
Well, that's the best part, right? At least you got us.
Right.
Okay. Can you share what was happening within your family that led to your niece needing care?
Well, my sister had a problem, drug use, addiction issues. And I found out through a friend of ours that was dating her that my niece had ended up in being taken by CPS. And nobody else could help with her aside from my sister's biological father, who isn't really, he's never been around for her, so I can't expect him to be around for my niece. And we had to have a conversation, me and Daniel, about the well-being of her. There was a couple incidents that we had with my sister that she actually needed us to help with her a lot. So little one was always very comfortable with us. So like she lived with us at 2, and it was kind of didn't take much thought like that we should just step in and help with her. We also didn't think that it was going to be this long, but we ended up bonding over these years and stuff since we had her. And, it doesn't feel right to even think or fathom her not being our child.
Once you decided, once the two of you agreed and you decided to, how quickly did the process move?
We're still in the process.
We're still in the process, actually. There was a lot of battle with my sister. She was very in and out, and some days she would fight us like she's gonna take her from us, even though she was not well equipped for it at all. And there were times where she'd just disappear, and we just were living in a state of limbo, really, until now.
Until now. What's happening now?
Yeah. Now my sister is she's not trying to fight us on it. She's willing to give up her rights.
And she's given that to you in writing, or?
Yes.
Okay, so was there any surprises about the foster system when it's within the family?
Well,
I mean, the whole thing was a surprise.
Yeah.
I mean, the process has been jarring, and you're kind of white knuckling it through the entire thing, because the unique and difficult part about kinship fostering in that situation is there's a familiarity with the biological parent, and this sense that things are like you can circumvent the formality of the whole thing. And I think that's where a lot of the miscommunication and problems happen with us and the biological mother, and sister, is her thinking because we're family that she could just kind of take shortcuts and then we'd go along with it. And we didn't, because, I don't care about that family tie. The only important tie here is between us and the little one, who's the only one who really matters in the situation. And so
there was a lot of a lot of reiteration had to happen about that one. Is that the priority here isn't any of our feelings, hers or vice versa. It's about little one and what will help her grow to be a better person as she lives her life. We can't do the in and out, and we can't take shortcuts. You have to be willing to do the work to actually be able to raise her. You can't just hop in and out and think that, oh, well, she's my kid, she came out of me. That means that it's all good. I could just do what I want, and my family's just going to allow it.
So did you find that the courts are more supportive of your sister because she is the biological mom?
Yes.
100%. Yeah.
To the point that we are, because of the situation, especially out here, they've really pushed to reconnect children with their biological mothers. And they would have my daughter go through a whole other process of therapy with her when she's uncomfortable with her. It's kind of forced and unfair to a child that, matured a lot faster than she should have. She's 7 years old, and she understands a lot more than she's given credit.
She understands a lot more, and to some degree, a lot better than a lot of adults that I know, because of her insights and because of the things that she's had to experience and overcome, and she has overcome them. She's a little savage, man. She's a badass for sure.
So how did your niece adjust to living with you? Does she call you mom and dad, or are you aunt and uncle?
So
we're mom and dad.
we're mom and dad now. It was a process. We took her across state lines.
Okay.
And when she was 3.5, she was dealing with a lot of emotional pain from all this pain from thinking that her mom didn't want her. She would tell me how she didn't care about her because there was supposed to be a lot of communication and scheduled calls, and she wouldn't show up to them. Susie had, my kid had a lot of tantrums. She would punch and kick. We had a lot of adjusting to do, and the kid's sleep schedule was insane. She would go to sleep at 3 a.m. And, for a developing brain, like that's not ideal. It's not ideal for anybody, really.
Yeah, structure this comes back to the initial problem that we're having with the biomom. It's like there is the shortcuts that she wanted to take and thought that she could flies in the face of what children need to create a safe and secure environment for them to grow and develop. There needs to be predictability and a consistency that they wake up every day and they know that their day is going to be the same. And that alleviates all of the anxiety that children tend to have when they're in a home that doesn't have that, right? Where there isn't structure, there isn't stability. They're all over the place. It creates more anxiety. They can't focus. They can't, right? Even small deviations from that reality makes a huge difference to a child's development. So when you have extremes of that, there's no way they're already in a negative. So
And as she's been with us, we've watched her progress like so much. She's 7 years old now, and over the last summer, I think it was last summer or the year before, bio mom stopped showing up. She wasn't around. And then when she did pop up, she was pregnant again. And putting that baby up for adoption to another family. It was a whole other can of worms that got opened up, and she decided on her own. It wasn't something she kept trying to call us mom and dad for a while, but again, I said we were in limbo. We didn't know what was happening or how the courts were going to deal with it, and if she'd end up back with my sister. But she decided on her own she wanted to call us mom and dad. After many times we tried to correct her and no, we're still this to you, you might,
and for just not wanting to cause her any more unnecessary confusion, I wanted to be respectful of the situation, and again, most importantly, I'm focusing on her well-being. So
right.
It was important to me, especially in the beginning, to retain that boundary of hey, we're your aunt and uncle, and that's who we are to you. But once we kind of realized about 2.5 years in that this was it, there was no going back. She was going to be with us forever, and she really wanted to call us mom and dad. I thought of it as okay, she wants that stability and that sense of belonging that she was lacking, right? And so we became mom and dad. And
she also made a point as to why she wanted to call us mom and dad, and this is why I was very open to accepting it at this point, because it's true. She said we do everything that moms and dads do. And she said we do all those things for her. And she never had a dad, like an actual dad. And so she has him primarily now. And that was how she made her decision. So on that note.
She sounds like she's pretty smart.
She is a smart cookie. Yeah, she really is.
All right. So where are you now in the adoption journey?
Last leg.
Yeah.
We've gone back and forth to the courts a bunch of times. I've been to the courthouse more than times than I care to count. And finally, now that biomom is she's finally falling in line to the reality of what's going on. She's also signed paperwork with us. We've gone there. The next process is really it's on us. But unfortunately, all of these things that have happened have been a huge distraction. They've been very costly. We've had to fly because we're originally from New Jersey, and that's where the case was open. So we've both individually, independent of one another, had to fly back and forth from New Jersey to Colorado, and New Jersey to Colorado, still trying to work, still trying to make ends meet. And so now it's really a financial situation because we are trying to move back to New Jersey, and we just pushed everything back from Colorado to New Jersey to finalize the process. So once we move in the beginning of next year, then we can finalize everything when we're out there.
Because it's the primary state, it would be a lot easier and smoother for our process.
Just trying to transfer it out here to Colorado was a year-long and change-long process that didn't work. It cost us a lot of money and time, and it still didn't work.
Right.
And so we were like, the heck with it. Just keep it over there. We'll go over there soon enough, and we'll finish it in New Jersey. So, yeah, we have multiple things working against us. Biological family, right? So kinship. We had just moved out here from New Jersey when this went down. We were only out here for a year when this whole thing happened. And so for the last 4 years, that's been what we've been dealing with. And trying to transfer it was a nightmare. And so, yeah, there's like 3 or 4 different things that are working against us in this situation.
But I think the thing that works in our favor is the fact that we have so much more support over there. We have all our family is there, and Susie has acquired many grandparents and cousins, and we just, once it's over there, it'll be a lot smoother.
Takes a village kind of situation. Yeah.
So for others wanting to adopt a relative, what do you I was going to say, what do you wish you had known from the start? Obviously, you don't want to move from state to state and work across borders, right?
Well, honestly, if things would have been different, if we knew that this was going to be where our life was going to end up,
we wouldn't have left.
We would have never left the state. We would have stayed by our niece, and we would have just been prepared. A lot more prepared. We were struggling already before we even got her. But I make sure you're writing down everything.
Yeah.
Keep lots of notes of interactions.
Document everything.
It'll go a long way.
Document everything. Be very clear about the goal. Conversations with the person that you're dealing with, and then also you have to think about the context here. If you're talking about adopting a family member, just keep in mind every situation is going to be different, because the reason why you'd be adopting them, more often than not, it's going to be because something bad happened. I can't imagine a reality where something good happened and you're adopting a family member. Best case scenario is, people broke up or someone passed away, where it makes sense and there isn't going to be a laundry list of problems that comes along with it. It's usually just next of kin. It makes the most sense to go with your aunt or uncle or a grandparent. But more often than not, the situation comes down to an unfit parent. And that's where it gets hairy.
The other thing is that causes a little bit of hiccup, and people don't think about right off the bat when they're doing things in a fast move, is make sure that your significant other is on all the documents, because that also causes issue. Like, he wasn't officially on any of the documents, and we still don't have him officially on documents. And we have to get that all changed, and we have to do a lot of extra steps that if he was already on it, it'd be no issue. Because if anything happens to me, I wouldn't want her to go back in the hands of bio mom. I would want her to go in the hands of her dad. Well, so that's mine.
Interesting. That's something that's no one ever commented on before. So your daughter was in the foster care system, and I just heard recently that most children in the foster care system are considered special needs because they're in the foster care system because of something that's happened. And they're considered special needs, so they've got extra benefits, health benefits through the foster care system. And if you adopt a child from the foster care system, you get some extra credits as well. The lady I was talking to was from Oregon, and she said they got the extra credits where they get free visits to state park. She said it's something small, but it gives us the opportunity to do that and to take advantage of it. And that, so was your daughter in the foster care system, or?
We, however, need that. Um, I'm glad that she wasn't in the foster care system, but with all the assistance I hear that everybody gets when they're doing this, I would have probably benefited a lot had she been, but she never got to make it into the foster system. We took care of this very quickly. It was a no thought.
We caught wind immediately after my wife was flying out. I had work, so I had to meet her later, which is why when the emergency custody happened, and again, it's joint custody, which is why this has been such a problem for us, with us and the bio mom, we just became the custodial parents. And the only benefit to, even though I wasn't on the paperwork, I couldn't. It was a nightmare to make that process happen.
Well,
but okay. So when we got back, the only kind of benefit is the fact that I'm married. And so I claim her on my taxes. So there's some help there with that. But, things have been, it was far from ideal. Every aspect of this process was wrong because of the nature of what happened.
Well, even dealing with the trying to get the custody hearing done, I had to chase her around. She was still using. So I had to get her moving. Originally, it was a lot of talk of full custody that she was going to give me. Then it turned into, I had to push her to try and be okay with joints. Because who knows where her life's going to end her. And I want to make sure that little one is with me. But it was a lot. I was stuck there for a while because I couldn't even get her up and out of the house to go to court. So we did not get any of those benefits.
No benefit from that. Well, I had a lawyer once say to me, "Hey, Janet, you never do things the easy way, do you?" So
no, this was
sounds like you're following in my footsteps for that.
Very difficult, everything.
So tell me about her, this little person that's at the center of all this. Talk about her, what she means to you, what she's like, the joys, the challenges.
She's a very witty, intelligent little girl, and she's very creative. She really lights up the room with her personality because she's so bubbly, and she wants to be a paleontologist. She's obsessed with dinosaurs right now, and a paleontologist ballerina, right? Astronaut. She's just amazing, and
willful to all hell. Oh my God, that child is willful. And I'm not entirely surprised. Again, you don't know how much of it is nature versus nurture, but we're both stubborn. So she watches us all day and copies and mannerisms and all this stuff. So I'm sure a part of it has to do with watching us all the time. But yeah, she will put her foot down with certain things, and it makes it difficult to parent her. But then there's also an admiration in that, where she is, if she wants something, she's going to go get it.
Yep.
Which is what you want for your child, especially as they get older and becoming more independent. She wants to do everything herself, which is great.
Very little independent girl, and she's extremely articulate. Like, she uses words that most 7-year-olds don't use, She speaks much like him, actually, when she is speaking. She's very clear, concise. She's special. She really is. And I think that it's awesome how well she's doing considering everything she's been through. You wouldn't be able to tell that she's been through any of this stuff.
Okay, so how has she changed your life? You were newlyweds, you moved out to Colorado, and all of a sudden you have a daughter that wasn't expected.
There's a lot of things we had to modify. Like, first of all, our language. We have potty mouths when we're by ourselves, but like when with her, we had to really relax with that. And if we have arguments, it would normally be we have our arguments and that's it because it's just him and I, but we had to really account for little one. Like if she hears us even raise our voice a little bit, she'd panic. So we have to be better, have more conversations than yelling spats. And we had to think about a little person when it comes to food a lot of the times because him and I can live off of ramen and be totally fine. Well, not fine, but you survive. You just survive.
Right.
With her, snacks, lots of snacks. Well balanced meals.
Just for me, it's the prioritization.
That
It's
too.
it's just, I mean, that's the number one thing for me because it applies to everything else that we just talked about. I am constantly changing. Like I was talking to my parents about this the other day, and they were touching on this point of like how it's changed my life and who I am now versus who I was 4 or 5 years ago. And so much of it is just my knee-jerk reaction is to think about her first. Like first and foremost, I get up in the morning and where maybe I go, you know what, I'm gonna lounge today. I'm gonna take a day off, or like I'm gonna take a half day or whatever, go hang out with my wife and go do something, and like I'll finish up on some calls today and then I'll whatever. I don't do that anymore because I'm like every second kind of counts, and any money that I'm going to generate, anything I'm going to do for my business, any growth that happens, I'm on a clock, right? She's 7, she's not getting younger, and I have to start considering her at 8, 9, 15, 20, and being a source of stability and security for her. And so, yeah, it applies to everything: how I speak to people, how I speak to my wife, how I construct my day, how I think about time. I used to think I had time. I don't got time. I have moments. I have little nice moments.
I would say we're honestly, especially for our relationship, we had a lot of like rocky moments during this time, but I think that she helped us in a way of the way we communicate with each other has gotten a lot better because we had to consider that. It's like, well, we don't want to teach her this. This is a bad habit. We need to start talking to each other a lot better and nicer and have a real conversation. And we have many with her as well. So
What do you hope for her future? Do you
I
want her to
hope
be a
that she succeeds
cosmetologist?
I want her to succeed in whatever she wants. Right now, we're fully nurturing. The whole family is nurturing this paleontologist thing.
Yeah, there's an advent calendar right here with dinosaurs in it.
Yeah.
She gets to paint that
She's artistic. She draws. I hope that if she comes up with whatever she wants, that she gets it, and that when she grows up, that she just stays the little like amazing person that she is only as an adult. I think they need more of her around.
Yeah, for me, it's simply like I want her to take this time to experiment and to look at all the different things that she's interested in, and I'll nurture all of those things. As she gets older and she's a teenager going, getting close to wanting to go out and pave her own way and have her own adventure, my thing is this: whatever she chooses to do, I've told her this time and time again, and I'll keep telling her, I'm like, don't half-ass it. Whatever you do choose to do with your life, I'll support it. But if I find that you're slacking or half-assing it, I am not going to be nice. You're not going to like me. I'm going to be very uncomfortable. Don't be lazy. Don't be lazy.
So if you move back to New Jersey and all of a sudden she decides she wants to go back to Colorado because she liked it there, are you going to follow her? Or are you going to say,
Mom is following? Be right on the hitch of her car.
Okay.
My baby leaves me, I'll be very upset.
What would you say to families who are thinking about stepping in as kinship foster parents?
It's not as bad as it seems. There's a lot of struggle in it, but it's worth it in the end.
Yeah, be prepared, plan for the worst, hope for the best. But if you view it as a blessing, as something that's beautiful and an addition to your life rather than a negative or subtraction, then everything kind of makes sense.
Right. well said. He says things so much better
I
than me.
know. He's amazing.
He's so good.
So, what has helped you stay hopeful through this whole process? Because when you are in the process of adopting, and your
Yeah.
adoption will be finalized, do you have any idea when?
It'll
When
be
you get
next
back
year.
to New Jersey?
It'll be within next year.
It'll be in 2026. It'll be finalized.
We're,
for sure.
we're getting it done as fast as we can. Really. As soon as we're back out there, that's like the very next thing that's being processed.
Okay.
But
So,
thing that keeps us hopeful is, I mean, we've provided a life for her, and she's showcasing that she's thriving in it. And, we have all this support with our families and stuff. And I think what I would like to add is that the potential that we might not be able to have our own child, that we have one right now. And that just is what keeps me hopeful that this is all going to work out.
Inherent determination. my internal and inherent determination. Watching her grow, seeing the different stages of her life makes me hopeful. Seeing her happy, seeing her grow, seeing her flourish, seeing all the things that she's becoming, and seeing those little bits of yourself made manifest through them, right? That kind of vicariously living through them. You almost get to re-experience your own childhood through your children, which is fun. Those are the things that keep me hopeful, because it's no longer about me, it's about her. And so, it's her. That's the center of it.
so are you teaching her your vocabulary, Dan? Because vicariously? Not a word you hear often.
She does learn his vocabulary, though. It's kind of scary. And then she asks a lot of questions, which is great, because she'll ask if she doesn't know what something means. Or we double check. Like, do you even know what that means? I have to tell him, can you please explain to her what these words are that you are saying to her? And then she does use some of them in
correctly. Yeah. No, she picks up on it. She's very verbally fluent. You can talk to anybody the way that I talk to them and explain all you want, but if they don't have it, if they don't have like the underlying ability, if it's not there, right? If they don't have the verbal fluency built into them, it doesn't matter how you talk to them. So that's all her. I'm just nurturing it because I don't talk down to her. I speak to her like she's a little adult. She tested with perfect verbal fluency in school. Yeah, she's like above average, far beyond above average. I was the same way growing up, and so was my parents with me. My mom spoke to me that way. My grandmother was a teacher. I got corrected a lot as a kid growing up for my grammar and the way that I spoke.
Well, you do. You're very articulate.
Extremely.
I try.
I thank you both for sharing such a heartfelt and courageous story. Kinship care is something many families experience, yet so few talk about openly. Your honesty will help others who are walking this same path, from fostering to adoption and everything in between. To our listeners, if Daniel and Tina's story resonated with you, please subscribe, comment, and share to break the silence and stigma around adoption. Every story helps bring awareness, understanding, and connection to the adoption community. I'm Janet Monroe. This is Roots and Branches Adoption Stories. Until next time.
Thank you for tuning in to Roots and Branches Adoption Stories, where every tree has roots, every life has branches, and every adoption has a story. Got an adoption story you want to tell? Want to learn more about adoption stories? Then visit rootsandbranchesadoptionstories.com.